Hi, this is Christian, and welcome back to NFL Updates Express, your weekly dose of NFL news, coming your way the awards show finale. We kick off with the NFL season awards. Now, the NFL Honors has already been conducted, but we have to see who I pick for these various awards. Now, it might not be the people that were selected for these prestigious awards, but in my opinion, here is who I think deserves it based on their play this year. It's the NFL Updates Express Award, the final award I have to offer. And Larry Fitzgerald, well, throughout his years, he's been very consistent, a great team player, and a great role model for kids to follow. And to me, on NFL Updates Express, I started in 2012, and now wrapping up in 2018. And I've always wanted to stay consistent and always improve. And Larry Fitzgerald, throughout his career, his skills may have diminished, but he always stays consistent, always great and active, and he's well deserving of this award. For my favorite NFL Updates Express episode to film, well, it was a tie for me. The first one, NFL Stereotypes 2, it was just awesome recreating some of the NFL's best moments. And then my other favorite one, Super Bowl 50. Now, if you haven't figured out by now, the Carolina Panthers are my favorite NFL team, and it was pretty cool filming this episode knowing that my team was going to be playing in the big game, and even though we lost the game, it was still exciting to see Cam Newton and the crew compete it for a chance to win the Super Bowl. It's time to analyze the best and worst predictions from the beginning of the year. Taking a look first at the AFC East division, we have the Patriots. I had the Patriots at 14-2. Dylan had them at 12-4 and the number one seed in the AFC for both of us. And they were the number one seed in the AFC, but they finished with a 13-3 record, so have a happy medium between Dylan and I's record, and there you go. Next team, the Buffalo Bills. Dylan actually nailed the Buffalo Bills pick. Now, he didn't have them making the playoffs, but he had them at 9-7, so spot on alert for Dylan. And for me, not far behind, an 8-8 record I predicted for the Buffalo Bills. Next team, the Miami Dolphins, and the Dolphins struggled this year, going 6-10. Both Dylan and I expected the Dolphins to make the playoffs at 10-6 apiece, but they could not finish the deal. And finally, the Jets, who shocked everybody after we both projected them to go 1-15, but they finished with 5 wins, and probably could have won a few more if McCown would have stayed healthy and their offense would have been more consistent this year. Let's take a look at the AFC North predictions. So the Steelers this year finished 13-3 in the number 2 seed in the AFC, and I had the Steelers finishing 11-5 and being the 3 seed. Dylan had the Steelers being the 4 seed in the AFC at 10-6, so pretty decent there. Then we both had the Ravens finishing 8-8 and missing the playoffs. Pretty accurate, the Ravens finished 9-7, but they missed the playoffs, so pretty good there. I actually predicted the Bengals record exactly correct at 7-9. Dylan not too far off at a 6-10 record. And we already know about the Browns 0-16, and both of us had 3 and 4 wins respectively for the Cleveland Browns. Next division, the AFC South. Now this division is what I like to call the biggest oof, because we've really messed up. For my predictions, I had the Tennessee Titans going 11-5 and being the 4 seed. And well, they did go 9-7 and the 5th seed, so not too far off, but still could have been better. Then I had the Houston Texans going 9-7, and while they went 4-12, they really dropped off after Deshaun Watson went out with a torn ACL. But I think the Texans will be back next year. Then we have the Indianapolis Colts at 6-10. They went 4-12, so not too bad there. And then Jacksonville, I completely missed on them. I predicted them to go 4-12, and well, they were the second or maybe first best team in the AFC all year long. And then for Dylan, well, he had the Tennessee Titans at a 10-6 record and a 3 seed. Then he had the Houston Texans going 8-8, the Colts 7-9, and the Jaguars 7-9. Next up, the AFC West division, and that was a pretty humbling experience. The records that we had for this year, well, the Chiefs at 10-6, the Chargers 9-7, the Raiders 6-10, and the Broncos 5-11. That was the regular season standings for those teams. And our predictions, well, I had Oakland being the 2 seed at 11-5. That was disappointing. Then I had the Chiefs at 9-7 and a 6 seed, so not too bad there. They ended up winning their division and an extra game there. The Broncos, I had them at 8-8, and the Chargers at 7-9. And then for Dylan, well, he did pretty decent. He had the Oakland Raiders again at 11-5 and a 2 seed, so he missed that. He had the Kansas City Chiefs. He predicted their record exactly correct at 10-6. Then he had the Broncos at 10-6 and a 6 seed, so he missed that. And then he also had the Chargers at 7-9. Next up, the NFC East division, and this was the division that had a lot of surprises. First, we had the Philadelphia Eagles at 13-3 this year, the Cowboys 9-7, the Redskins 7-9, and the Giants finished 3-13. Now for our predictions, I had the Cowboys a 4 seed at 10-6, and well, I only missed that by a game, but they didn't make the playoffs. I had the Eagles as kind of a surprise team making the playoffs at a 9-7 record and a 6 seed, but they exceeded my expectations even by making the playoffs, and I had them in, but they went and became the best team in the NFC. Then the Giants, I had them at 9-7, and we saw how that turned out. And the Redskins, I had them at 8-8, so not too bad there. And then for Dylan, he had the Cowboys as the number 2 seed at 10-6, the Giants also at 9-7, the Redskins at 6-10, which was pretty accurate, and then the Eagles at 6-10, which was way off. For the NFC North this year, the Vikings finished 13-3, the Lions 9-7, the Packers 7-9, and the Bears 5-11. And for my predictions, I had Green Bay being the 3 seed at 11-5, and clearly the Aaron Rodgers injury affected the Packers' playoff chances, but still, I did not do great on that prediction. The Lions, I had them at 7-9, 2 games off, so not great, but not bad. The Vikings I had at 7-9, ouch. And then the Bears, though, I rebounded. I predicted their record exactly correct. And then for Dylan's, well, Dylan didn't do too bad either. He had the Packers at 10-6, again Aaron Rodgers, the Vikings at a respectable 9-7, but still not one of the top teams in the NFC. Then he also had the Bears 7-9, a little higher than expected, and the Lions at 6-10. Now for the NFC South. Now for me, this division was pretty predictable, but still we messed up on the New Orleans Saints. I had the Saints going 7-9 as usual until this year when they went 11-5. I also predicted the Panthers record exactly correct. Go figure, you predicted your favorite team with the exact same record. I know my team very well, and they went 11-5. The Falcons, I had them at 9-7, and they went 10-6 this year, so pretty accurate there. And then I had the Buccaneers, and I had them going 9-7 with the 5th seed. And, well, they disappointed everybody. Jameis Winston was injured, their defense struggled, and they ended up going 5-11. So a tough one there. Dylan, he also predicted the Carolina Panthers to go 11-5, so both of us nailed the Carolina pick. Then Tampa Bay, Dylan had 8-8, so not great, but still in the ballpark. The Saints 5-11, ouch. And then he had the Falcons going 12-4 in the number 1 seed. The Falcons failed to meet expectations, but they still made the playoffs and avoided the Super Bowl hangover. Last but not least, it's the NFC West. And for the regular season standings, it was the Rams at 11-5, the Seahawks at 9-7, the Cardinals at 8-8, and the 49ers at 6-10. For my predictions, I had Seattle going to the Super Bowl at 11-5 record and the number 1 seed in the NFC. I had the Cardinals going 9-7, so not too far off there. The Los Angeles Rams at 4-12, and I screwed up on that pretty bad. And then the 49ers I had at 3-13, 3 games off, so not really that close. Meanwhile, Dylan had the Seattle Seahawks at 10-6 and a number 4 seed, and only a game off there, so not too bad. Same thing with Arizona, he also had them at 9-7. The 49ers, likewise, he had them at 5-11, and then again, we both messed up on the Rams at 4-12, and they really went 11-5. Unless you've been living under a rock by now, the Philadelphia Eagles defeated the New England Patriots in Super Bowl 52 by the score of 41-33. But our predictions at the beginning of the year, well, we both had New England winning the Super Bowl over the Seattle Seahawks. So while one team made it to the Super Bowl and nearly won it, the other team didn't even make the playoffs. So both of us half nailed it, I guess, but overall, not quite the distance.
I'm like a stranger, give me danger, all you're wrong and you're right. Secrets on Broadway to the freeway, you're a keeper of crime. Still no conviction, grips of wrath can only sweeten your wine. But you don't even know, I can make your hands clap. Said I can make your hands clap. Every night when the stars come out, am I the only living soul around? Need to believe you could hold me down, 'cause I'm in need of something good right now. We could be screaming till the sun comes out, and when we wake